And we're back with some Demon Hunt. And yes, I'm playing Factorio in the background, but I haven't been able to get an episode out yet. My brain is trying, but let's just say it's going to take a little bit longer, and I needed to get something out today at some point. So this is a little time waster game. Okay, let me give you a quick demonstration. You play this little robot thingy here, and then for some reason, you're fighting demons. It is what it is. Hey, it's a game. And then you can go in here and you can choose your boss and your threat level. There are 4 bosses to choose from. The starting one you will always start on is this guy, and because it's the only one you're allowed. To gain access to the next guys, you have to do at least 2 levels with each boss before you can go on to the next. Your starting weapon will just start blapping things the moment you get near them. Yeah, but down to the bottom right here, you can see this map. See those orange dots? You want to start heading towards those orange dots. And this is sort of how I learned the game. It's not a tricky game. Oh, and every time you shoot things, of course, they drop experience, and you see that experience flies towards you. And now we get a level up. This is not actually a level up. It looks like one, but it's not. You know what? We're not going to spend any of these. You basically have skill points to spend, and they happen at consistent intervals. So if you look at the top of the screen here, it says wave 1, 20 seconds counting down. Once that 20 seconds expires, we'll get another option to, well, not so much level up as spend our skill points. And we get skill points from killing things and taking their like little blue things that they drop. So that's a little chest there. You stand near a chest. After a while, it opens and you get some gear. Oh, and there we go. 20 seconds have expired, and now we get more stuff to choose from. So we have 4 points to spend, and we can buy a bunch of stuff. Currently, this is the weapon we have equipped. It's called a blaster, and this is where we start getting into weapons and their customizations. Now, if you just hit the tab key, you can view weapon upgrade details. Very handy. So now when we hover over this weapon and hover over attack speed, damage, or pierce, which is every weapon has 3 possible stats to upgrade. Damage, attack speed, and then one other thing. So in this instance, if we max out the attack speed at level 5, we will gain access to Shatter. Projectile shatters into multiple projectiles on impact, meaning when it hits stuff, it does splash damage. If we go down to this one, damage, and we max out damage at 5, explosives. Projectile explodes on hit. So smaller blast radius than the shrapnel, let's say, but it will do area of effect damage. And then we've got pierce, and if we max that out, we get ricochet. Projectiles ricochet into the nearest enemy. So if we max, we can only pick one though. We can only pick one trait to max out. In fact, we can only pick two traits total. So for example, let's just say we decide we want to do shatter for the shattering multiple projectile stuff. That's grand. But we'll have to spend a bunch of points. 1 point to start, then 2 points for the 3 middle things, and then 4 points for the end. And then we can pick one other trait. We can't pick both. So if you pick attack speed and damage, pierce will get knocked out. So you'll notice now this path is now closed. We can no longer access that. And that's all the weapons. You can pick one thing to max out in it that will give it a special ability, and then you can pick one other thing that you can put 3 points into to amp its damage just a little bit. Or you can buy yourself new weapons to add, or you can buy artifacts. At any point in here, we can just hit escape. And we can go in here and we can actually look at our weapon. And this shows us all the potential upgrade paths, what we can do with them, what its damage is, what its damage type is. There's like Ember, Ion, all sorts of stuff. We'll pass through them pretty quickly. However, we notice on their artifacts we have nothing. This is sort of your add-ons, your bonuses. So for example, we can buy this Wise Eye, increases experience gain by 8%. And now when we go into artifacts, this is listed here. And now we gain 8% more experience. So every 20 seconds or so, we gain access to this screen here where we can either upgrade our weapons or buy additional stuff. And then once that's done, we then go back in and start killing some more things. Now, every mech, there's 3 different mechs, every mech has a different ability. This one's ability is sprint. It's this little charge thing down here just to the right of its level. Oh, there's an altar. So when you go around an altar, it gives you a little bonus that lasts for the whole run. So this one gave us +1 to critical hit, which means we have more chances of doing critical damage. 1 second. Nope, don't care about any of these. But let's just pop down over here real quick. You can see there's 3 dots there on the map. Altar. You'll notice we get +1% critical chance. This makes you think, what's the point of running around? Oh, shrines, these things here, they give you a bonus to something for like about 8 seconds, so you can either shoot faster, do more damage, get more critical, that type of thing. But these altar things, they're super useful because they give you a permanent bonus for the whole round, so you kind of just want to run around and grab as many of them as you can. This one's a little interesting artifact. Deal more damage, but you lose health if you stop moving. So you get a 12% damage bonus, which is huge. Normally, most damage bonuses are between 2 to 4%. So say this one here, Ember Furnace, 4% damage. However, this is a common artifact. If you get an upgraded version, it will, well, be the upgraded version, which will do about 6%, or maybe even 8%, depending on the damage type. They're a bit wonky-donk about it. Let me show you this one over here. This is another shrine. When we collect this, it'll give us a bonus for 8 seconds. So for 8 seconds, our attack speed is doubled, allowing us to do more damage. That little green thing you pick up, that's a health thing to increase your health. Well, to keep your health topped up. Currently, we're at 61 health. Now, if you take damage by, say, running into someone, yeah, you'll basically it goes down, and your health does not regenerate by default. More stuff. Oh, for example, here's a blasting engine artifact. Increases damage dealt by 4%. This one increases attack speed by 4%. They're all, like, pretty good ones. Now, let's go down here. What we want to do is find a shrine that'll allow us to summon a mini-boss. Oh, damn it, okay. So this is 2 different shrines that summon mini-bosses. There's actually 3 different shrines that summon mini-bosses. This is a mini-boss over here. We're going to have to shoot this guy for a while, but once we shoot him, it will allow us to get an upgrade. Damn it, we have skill points to spend. 1 second. You know what? Give us more attack speed right now. Spend a lot. Now, these bosses are all very predictable. You all sort of charge forward and then release some sort of projectiles. But at the end, you get a little purpley thing. What it allows you to do is upgrade your artifacts. So those artifacts you picked up that increased either your damage or your experience gain, you can now upgrade them to get bonuses. Here's the weird thing. This game is, like, in my opinion, this game is a little bit too easy. I think I've died 3 times entirely playing this game. It's very rare to die because I think it's just maybe needs a difficulty tweaked a bit. But we'll go through that. This experience gain one, if you level up and upgrade into it, it only gives you a 2% gain. That's tiny. Why would you do this? This is a terrible spend of, like, a very limited resources. You only have a limited amount of those little mini-bosses you can kill to upgrade your artifacts. You're usually better off spending it on good stuff. For example, this gives a 4% damage increase for all our weapons across the board. Currently, we only have 1 weapon. Soon we'll have more. Ooh. And yeah, that's whatever. Where was that altar? Yes. There's these 2 altars. This one over here, if we get close to it, it'll show us 2 of 18 pylons. What that means is we've already accessed 2 altars, and once we access 18 altars, we could use that one to summon another mini-boss. It's one of the 3 ways to summon a mini-boss to fight to get an upgrade for your artifacts. Because maybe you would like to upgrade your artifacts. Ooh, this one's a good one. Increase damage by 1% for every artifact equipped. That's always fun, but I think we'll just go with Shatter. Probably should have got that artifact, to be honest, if we're playing serious, but ooh. And now you see when it hits stuff, it splits out into multiple projectiles, allowing it to be a good crowd control weapon. So instead of being single target, it's now crowd control. And now this is a soul stone. Slay demons to spawn an elite. Elites are the mini-bosses I was talking about. They're the ones that allow you to upgrade your artifacts. So we just stay here, fight a bunch of enemies, and then once enough of the enemies are killed... Wait, sorry, upgrade again. Oh, ion field. Okay, generates an ion field that damages enemies in a radius around it. Probably should have got other weapons before this, but we'll get this one because basically, this is garlic. So, you see that blue thing around us? Anyone who gets inside that takes damage. Yeah, it's basically garlic. Oh, and see that purple thing on the ground? That is a collection orb. It allows you to collect all of the experience you have missed around the map. This means there's no reason to not run around the map getting altars, because if you can find those collection things, it basically means you don't need to go get the stuff. As long as you get it in a timely manner, of course. Now, that boss dropped 2 upgrades. That's rare. We have some special bonus that allows us to do that now, because, oh, we'll get into that stuff later. This is basically the mechanics of the game. If you check in here under weapons, you'll see we've got 2 weapons. We can have a grand total of 6 on us. If anyone's played Vampire Survivor, you know, yeah, sort of that thing. Oh, and as you can see here, this one has the same mechanics as the blaster. So, more damage to enemies closer to center if you increase the radius. Attack rate, if you increase that all the way to max. Slight chance to instantly kill enemies with Evaporate. And if you increase damage all the way to the max, ring more damage to enemies further from center, allowing you to basically kill stuff further out. That's basically the core of the game. What you want to do is pick up 6 weapons along the way, try and max them out, try and get artifacts that go well with them, like maybe get weapons of all the same damage type. And if you get weapons of all the same damage type, you can get good bonuses for them. Also, there's combo things that you can do, like if you hit opponents with 2 different damage types, it causes them to, like, oh, ion. Ion weapon hits have a 0.5% chance to cause chain lightning. There's other ones where it's like if you hit them with ion and then you hit them with caustic, they'll give off black holes or something, or they'll cause tornadoes, or there's all these little things that it's supposed to increase the game to the point where it's like covered in lots of, like, your weapons keep triggering all these effects that cause lots of damage across the screen, and it should look nice and shiny. Not really how it works out in reality. Oh, and over here, we're just going to max out this blaster. There we go. It's done. Once you put 3 points into one trait and 5 into the other, it's finished. This gun is maxed out. You can't do anything else with it. What you can do, however, is once you kill a boss, once you've done a certain amount of levels, a boss shows up. 1 second. And when the boss shows up, he'll give you a chance to upgrade your weapons. So you can upgrade your weapons, and upgraded weapons are a bit like upgrading your artifacts. It just makes them better. Oh, 1 second. This thing back over here. See the way that's only got two little blobs up? If we go down here and grab, there's an altar. You can see on the map it's listed as an A. A's are altars, S's are shrines. Everything has a very simplified thing on it. Ooh, weapons with the lowest DPS gains 8% increased damage, increased iron damage, increased max health. Yeah, we'll grab them all for no reason. We don't want them, but this is dumb. Ah, there he is. This is the first boss. Now, we've grabbed that altar, which has given us a little bit of a boost, but that one, remember that pylon up in the top left, the one that allows us to summon the boss? That should now have a little listing for it. See this guy? He's down real quick. That's because we've got a nice little maxed out weapon to smack him with, and this is one of the first bosses. Once you get to level 50, you face the final boss of the level. Now, this guy allows you to upgrade your weapon, so we can upgrade this weapon from epic to legendary, and then from legendary to ultra, I think, and then it's done. Then they also give you an artifact upgrade to upgrade one of the artifacts you're carrying. Honestly, this has just been a mess level, so sure, why not? We only have one weapon. Or, actually, no, we have two. And that's it. That's the whole core of the game. One thing I have missed out on, though, is the mech itself. See, it's got these slots, so you can carry equipment on you. The equipment's not hugely powerful in a lot of respects. Like, for example, this one here gives you increase in range, knockback power, and pierce. They help, but not as much as I thought they would at the start. So every time you're going around the place, all those chests you open can contain items. Also, sometimes the bosses will drop items. And there's, of course, levels to them as well, and they can help you a little bit to make you faster, stronger, give you regen, that type of thing. Let's just go back to the main menu here. Alright, so that's the basics of it, but here is where you run around the map, or here's where you prep your mech before you leave. So, first up, you can choose your starting weapon. Initially, you'll only get the blaster, and you'll have it on the lowest level. You see this one here? We can get this one as a starting weapon, but see that little one blue dot? That means it will be at the lowest level. It will be a standard issue starting one. If you use that weapon a bunch and max it out in game, as in put in enough points in it to get it all the way to max level, as in max out 5 points into some trait, or 5 levels in one trait, so it's a maxed out weapon, it will then start counting the amount of waves you use that weapon for, and once those waves hit 50, you can start with a higher version of the weapon. So for example, this one here can be started as I want to say epic, an epic level start. So the weapons that you use a lot tend to end up this way. It also gives you a listing of all the artifacts that are in the game in here that you have currently unlocked or have access to or have used in some way, shape, or form. And this is just a list of all the weapons you can potentially encounter along the way. And if you use these weapons and level them up, at first you won't be able to use them at all. For example, this arc thing down here, we couldn't use this for ages until we actually found the arc in game, leveled it up, and then kept it for 50 waves, which will take you at least 2 rounds, unless you can somehow manage to get an arc up to maxed out level in the very first round. So it takes a while to unlock all of these. Usually you can get points into all of them in one run, or points into 4 or 5 of them in one run, but getting them all maxed out, it's usually not necessary. There's only a few good ones anyway. So that's where you choose your weapons. Over here is where you choose your mech, and there is 3 mechs. This mech's special ability, they'll have a special ability. A temporary speed boost with a fast cooldown. This allows you to, zip out of danger. Completely bloody pointless. I mean, it's okay, it's just all the other mechs are better. This mech can dive underground for a speed boost, then burst out with knockback. While underground, you're invulnerable and can't deal damage. I never used it, not even once. And then you've got the Spectre. Dash forward at high speed, phasing through enemies and damaging them. You're invulnerable during the phase shift. So for example, this thing just gives you a speed boost. This thing gives you a speed boost, but also kills things that you run through. So it's a speed boost that makes you invincible and kills things. Yeah. So once you gain access to this one, which is pretty quick to do, you use that one. To gain access to the different mechs, what you have to do here is do level 3 as Habuba, whatever. Get this boss up to level 3. Once you've completed the 3rd level, you can gain access to the 2nd level mech. This guy, once you gain access to the 3rd level, will give access to the Spectre mech, and then once you've done that, you never, ever go back, because the Spectre mech is better than all of them combined. Alright, a few other little quirks to this game. This over here is the orb table. I don't, does it have a name? Orb slots. Okay, so all of these are blanked out. You can't use them at the start. And as you do missions, you collect these flame things. And as you do these flame things, you get to buy these different orbs that you can place down on these little pillars. And the pillars have different effects depending on the size of them and which color they are. Let's just try something simple. Okay, so this first one here. Start with more rolls. This one here, you see the blue and orange. And see the orange bit says gain rerolls after killing boss. That's orangey red. I feel like it should be red. Or am I going colorblind? That's red, right? And the text down here is orange. Maybe it's a visibility thing for reading, whatever. Okay. So right now, the start with rerolls is over here. It's this one on this section. and you'll see that the number 2 is highlighted up here in green. That's because it's on a small blue platform. If it was on a medium blue platform, one of, say, these ones over here or here, then it would actually be on 4. You would start with 4 rerolls, and if it's on the largest platform of which you only have a single one, it would give you 6 rerolls. And if you put it on the red small pillar, it would give you +1 reroll after killing each boss. You put it on the red medium pillar, +2 rerolls after killing each boss, etc., etc. So this allows you to get more rerolls if you want, depending on where you place it. The problem is, some of them are just so ridiculously overpowered, they override everything. For example, let's try Orb of Defiance. Bosses will drop an item at high rarity. I might actually get rid of that at this point. We must have maxed out our items. No, where is it? Yes, this one here. This one is just so busted. Gain damage if you complete a wave with full health. And you will gain a 3% damage bonus if you complete a wave with full health. There's 50 waves in the game, which means if you can finish each wave without taking damage, you will gain 150% damage bonus. That is stupidly overpowered. Most of the artifacts you saw will only give you a 4% damage bonus for the artifact, and even then, upgrading them might give you 2 to 4, and you can only upgrade them a limited amount of time depending on which bosses there are, and like this is so incredibly broken that it's just, there's no point using anything else. Once you discover this, you put this on, like, you unlock this as soon as you can, put this on whatever pillar you've got, and then upgrade it to the best pillars as you go along. There's also the option to do it, gain damage if you complete a wave under 40% hit points. That's much harder to do, gives you double the bonus, but nah, much easier on the red. You know what? We'll come back to this in a minute once I show you the brokenness that is equipment. When you come back from a run, you're going to have the ability to do all of this junk, but the most important here is we're just going to put that equipment to one side, and we are going to send it to the recycling section. So, for example, if we send this hone sensors, which is common, these are basic stuff, we get 3 of this scrap. And you'll see the scrap down here in the bottom right. This is like basic scrap, and then these are higher end materials. The higher end materials are used for making higher end pieces of equipment or upgrading higher end pieces of equipment. So instead of scrapping this, let's say, what we could do is take this over to the upgrade bench, and we could stick it in here and say we would like to upgrade it. And it costs us 6 scrap to upgrade it from level 2 to level 3. This would increase its pierce power from 2.4 to 2.6%. The upgrading stuff gives you about a 0.1 or 0.2% bonus usually to it. Sometimes 0.4 depending, there's reasons. Then there's the rarity upgrade. What this will allow you to do is upgrade it from basic to common. If you upgrade it to common, you'll get a new stat. So for example, if we upgrade this now, and it'll also increase its pierce power. So its pierce power goes from 2.4 to 2.6. So let's just say we upgrade this now. And now it is a rare sensor. We can even upgrade it again. And it's also gained range. Gained a range bonus on top of the pierce, and if you upgrade it again, it'll gain more stuff. But you see here it's costing us these purpley things to upgrade it. And how do you get those purpley things? Well, recycling. So if you go in here, we can recycle this for blue now because it's rare. So we can recycle that for blue because they're rare. And then these are purpley ones. So we can recycle this for purpley ones and also the basic ones. All of them seem to recycle into the base resources a little bit as well. And I'll just recycle all this for now, and then I'll show you why this is completely busted. This is all our maxed out equipment here. I just stuck it back on because I put it in storage just for the early demonstration. It gives us a whole bunch of nice bonuses, but I picked the wrong ones, but doesn't matter. What is important here is, at the start, you're going to have this problem where you're going to have lots of the lower and mid-level resources, but you won't be able to get the highest level stuff. So, for example, let's say take this gold stuff. We have 1,861 of it. And we can use that gold stuff to craft things. But instead, what we're going to do is this. We are going to craft ourselves a level 1 item. Doesn't matter what it is. You can craft one thing for any of these slots. Doesn't really matter. Just don't worry what each slot does. Each slot just has different options it gets to choose from. But namely, they're all roughly analogous. It doesn't really make much of a difference. We're going to craft ourselves some basic sensors. Level 1, just basic sensors. And if we recycle them, it costs 2 scrap to make. And then if we recycle them, we get 2 of it back. So just to notice, if you craft a level 1 item, you get everything back. However, let's say we craft a level 2. This costs 6 scrap to make. And if we try and recycle that, we only get 3 back. Once an item has been upgraded past level 1, you lose half the resources that go into it when you recycle it. Which is a bit of a pain in the butt, but totally workaroundable. So let's say we wanted more of these goldy things, right? What we can do here is something very stupid. We can craft a basic common item. We could craft rares, all sorts of epics. No. We want to craft a basic item at the maximum level you're allowed to craft, which is level 22. This costs us 506 of the basic resource. Done. Kind of useless to us, but then what we do is we go to the upgrade table. And we chuck it in here, and we would say we would like to upgrade its rarity to rare sensors. This will cost us 176 of the blue things for making rares. Basically, the rare resource. It's going to cost us 176. And now we have upgraded it. Cool. However, if we then recycle that rare item, it gives us back 253. So we're able to actually, sort of a conversion process of taking basic resources and turning them into higher level. So if we were to say take that same item and then upgrade it again to, to rare, and then upgrade it again to nether, you see it takes 176 of the prerequisite item of that resource to make it. Then what we can do is we can go recycle that, and we get 253 of the gold resources back, meaning we got more gold resources out by effectively converting lower level resources into higher level stuff. And once you learn that, it becomes a lot easier to figure out how to juke the system. So, now let's pick something up here. Originally, I wanted lots of luck. Luck allowed you to find more items, and being able to find more items meant we could get more stuff for recycling. But once I figured out that trick to recycling stuff, or scrapping stuff, it became pointless. So a lot of the really leveled up items we've got here are kind of pointless because they've maximized on luck. So just say we want to get ourselves a new reactor. We could run around for bajillions of hours trying to find a really good reactor and get a good drop from someone. Nah, instead what we're going to do is give us a reactor and give us one below max. So this is ultra reactor. We don't want ultra. What we want is a legendary reactor. And then we will craft one. This cost us... Oh. Yeah, I just messed up, didn't I? Sorry, that's level 22. 1 second, I'm just going to recycle that. That was a waste of resources. So, we're going to craft a level 1 reactor, which costs us 2 gold resources, which we can then recycle for 2 gold resources if we want at any time. So this costs us nothing to craft this, basically, because we can always recycle it. Then what we're going to do is just, yes, fill a bunch of our inventory with these. After spawning a bunch of level 1 reactors, we can now see clearly how this game does things. This is corrosive reactors. We got the most of them. It seems they were the most common ones to spawn. But if you'll notice here, the top level item on all of them is caustic damage. Well, the corrosive reactors kind of make sense. Then you've got your charged reactors. Their top level stat is always ion damage. Heightened reactors have area size. Area size is basically area weapons will have a bigger area, I believe. Then you've got hyper reactors, which give you an attack speed bonus. Refined reactors, which always give you critical power. Critical power is basically an improvement to your critical damage, not your critical chance. Then you got accelerated reactors, which increase your move speed. Now, all of these here have some sort of primary stat. Like blessed reactors always give you luck as their primary. Diffused reactors always give you area damage. But then there's sub things that it can have. So, for example, for the corrosive reactors, you can see there's move speed, area size, area damage. But there's also ion damage is a potential thing that can spawn on them. They can also have luck. And depending on which ones you spawn, you could get whichever one of these you want. So what we want to do is pick out whichever one is best for our mech. So let me think. I think we're going to go with accelerated reactors for the increased move speed. Right? So we'd like some more move speed, and then we'd like some traits to go with it that we like. Say critical power, attack speed. Oh, attack speed's always good. 1 second. We will recycle all the ones we don't want to get all of our resources back. Effectively, remember, this is all costing us nothing to do this little shenaniganry. Looking at it here, I think move speed, critical power, and luck are ones we would like. Area size, we don't really care about specific bonuses to one weapon. We would like to have, general stuff like increased attack speed or something like that. This one here gives us move speed, attack speed, and luck. All of those, we don't care about the area damage on this, and we don't care about the area size on these. So what we'd like to do is maybe fill one of those in with something else. So what we'll do is, well, go right back to crafting, and we'll just craft a whole bunch more reactors for a second until we get the ones we want. Well, this was a terrible haul. We only found 2 accelerated reactors in this entire generation of random stuff. Not what we're looking for. Give me a few minutes. Okay, there we go. Next round, much more productive. But this one here, you can see move speed, critical power, luck, and attack speed. All of those are completely independent. We don't need, this one has ion damage attached to it. This one has caustic. This one has ion and caustic. This one has ion, caustic. There's a bunch of here that have traits we would prefer to avoid. So now we have found the perfect accelerated reactor to cram into our mech. So we recycle everything else but the perfect one. Then we take this perfect reactor and we stick it into the upgrade machine. Wait, not yet. First, we have to upgrade it all the way up to level 22. So we're going to burn through a bunch of these golds. And this is going to cost us about 500 and something of those. Second, come on, all the way up to level 22. You can't go above level 22, won't allow you to. And once we get it up to level 22, we can't upgrade it to the rarity because, well, we don't have enough points for it. But that's fine. What we can do now is, yeah, we can grab this guy at the Blessed Reactor, and we can take the current Blessed Reactor we have that we no longer require, and we will put that into recycling, which will give us 253 of those points, which is great, because now we can upgrade our current reactor here, get its rarity up. It only costs 176, and boom. And now we have a fully upgraded accelerated reactor. Only cost us a fraction of what it should have, and so long as we keep doing our little upgrade tricks, we can make sure we can get whatever we want with the perfect quality. Oh, this thing gained a new trait when we upgraded it, so it's now got caustic damage. But we've got a maxed out move speed, critical power, luck, and attack speed, and a little bit of caustic damage on top of that. Like the last trait we don't care about. As long as we get 4 of the traits we want, who cares if the last trait that we randomly get is not perfect? And then stick it into the and done. And this is basically how you upgrade to whatever you would like. Now, the gold ones, which people have been going, what the hell's going on with those gold ones? They're to do with uniques. When you finish certain bosses, you'll get given green or gold tokens, and then you can use those to buy green or gold stuff. So, greens are set pieces. So, let's just say this thing, the Crux of Hababubu, whatever. This is the original boss. This you can stick into your core, and if you have 2 pieces of them, when you kill a Hababubu egg, its explosion damages nearby enemies. And 3 gain damage when you kill Hababubu egg, stacks up 10 times. Basically, as you go up in the difficulty against that boss, they start spawning their own special unique stuff, and you can use these special unique core items to help you with them and do weird stuff. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. So, for example, on the guy Althum, they have these shifters that appear after you do some of the harder difficulties that are invincible until they get within a certain range. But you can gain an evasion chance when in range of a shifter, or you can stun nearby enemies when you kill a shifter, assuming you have 3 pieces of equipment that all match up. It's usually not worth the effort. I don't bother. The gold ones, which are unique, those ones are worth it in some respects. Let me give you an example. So if you remember that blaster we were using, when we fired it at stuff, it would, when it was maxed out, it would split up and kill other stuff. If we use this unique item, which is like a central core thing, blaster shatter, shattered projectiles split into 2 more on hit. That would mean that if we leveled up a blaster to max, this little special unique on this thing here would cause that blaster upgrade to actually shatter into more projectiles on hit, which would be awesome sauce. It would just make that weapon way more powerful. So what you normally do is get the gold thing of whatever you're using as your primary weapon, and so long as that's going to be your primary weapon, you know every time you're going to be able to max it out and take advantage of this. Equipping with all of these, like every single weapon and every single weapon variant has a type. So for example, here's Blaster Explosive. If you got the Explosive upgrade, run this. And the Explosive upgrade on the Blaster will now have pierced projectiles also cause an explosion. Blaster Ricochet. Ricocheted projectiles also create a pierced projectile. So the Ricochet can now get pierced on it as well. There's all these bonuses for the weapons to make them even more powerful. We got one for Halo and Swarm Seeker, and I will show you why pretty quickly. Let's demonstrate on this level. I haven't done this final level yet. And we have equipped ourselves with the Swarm Launcher. So this is the Swarm Projectile Launcher. It looks pretty terrible, and honestly I thought it was trash at the start. Until I had an accident. See, it does okay. It's not terrible. Oh, yeah, on this level, there's the eggs, the Habibi eggs we were talking about. Or Habubu eggs, whatever they were. Sometimes when you kill the boss's kids, they turn into these egg things that can then, spawn other nasty things that try and kill you. Let's just not buy anything just yet. What we want to do is find ourselves a little mini-boss. Or epic, I should say. Ah, finally, a shrine. Excellent. Now all we have to do is kill 65 in it. Fine. Alright, right now we've only got 2 points, well, technically 3 skill points put into this Swarm Launcher. I want to show you something here to just show you how much of a difference one upgrade can make to a weapon. And it's sort of how I accidentally discovered it was a really broken way to win. Or just take care of most of the early levels. Ah, here we go. So this is a boss. Now we're going to try and kill this boss. God, I'm playing this terribly. What we're trying to do is we're trying to kill this boss using just the basic weapon we have. And you'll see he's taken a lot of it. Like, it took a while. They tanked a bunch of hits. So now we're going to restart, and we're going to look out for a different upgrade to give to the our little launcher. Exact same map, exact same difficulty, and the plan here is very simple. We're going to go and find ourselves a boss and see if we can't get a slightly different upgrade to make killing it a little bit faster. Ah, here we are. Erosion. Now, I discovered this a while back, and I clicked on it by accident because I had the swarm launcher. I thought a little bit of erosion will be good, and then I realized this was an entirely broken thing. All it does is it poisons things. And it seems like that would be just a mild bonus, but instead it turns out to be really, really super duper good. I'm not exactly sure why. Oh, we got 2 bosses. Okay, fine. This might make things a little bit trickier. But then we just stand close to them, and once we've poisoned them, they just melt. This is the exact same weapon. The only upgrade is that driver thing, or the, what's it called? Caustic weapons hits have a 20% chance to erode enemies, dealing 12 damage to them over time. Basically, it's poison. It can stack up to 10 stacks, though. I'm just not sure how much. Is it doing like 12 damage a second, or is it doing 12 damage every 2 seconds? But it stacks up to 10 times, meaning as you hit them more and more, it just stacks up, and they just end up getting shredded. This thing has quite a decent rate of fire. Alright, we'll ignore all of these, and we'll just go kill the other second boss as well, just for funsies. Come here, you. And you notice they melted instantly. Also, you can upgrade Erosion, and what makes it so terrifying is it gives you a 2-point damage increase, which is, a lot of things get 2 or even a 4-point damage increase for, bonuses to like ion damage stuff or things like that. But this, you got to remember, it stacks up to 10 times. So assuming you're hitting a solitary target, this thing can shred bosses, basically. In fact, yeah, maybe we should finish out this run just to see. Just to demonstrate this thing killing stuff at absolutely redonkulous speeds. There we go. In that case, if we're going to finish it out, we can demonstrate just how this weapon combo basically got me from the start of the game to near the end, and then I had to make some minor changes at the end because, well, let's just say this thing isn't absolutely perfect. Oh, this is Force Shield. You always grab this if it's available because it basically protects you from taking damage once. It's like this shield that pops occasionally, but if you see it, just grab it. It's very good. And we are going to go with Seekers. The reason we're going to go with Seekers is swarms seek out closest enemies. This thing is absolutely insane. Combined with the poison damage, this means all your projectiles go out and seek someone, which is terrifying. Then you get Pierce. Pierce means this can pierce enemies, and the thing is, if it pierces an enemy, it will just circle back around and hit them again. You've got to remember it also stacks the poison damage. So we're just going to chuck a couple of points into that as well, meaning this now pierces twice. And at this point, it basically just shreds everything. This effectively turns this into nothing gets near you, it instantly gets incinerated. Now, there's these egg things that show up. Where are they? Damn it. Someone die and show me an egg. On this map, there's like the boss has this special. Well, that big explosion was an egg. Basically, when things die, they turn into an egg sometimes. It's really hard to kill. But because of all the poison damage we've got, we effectively still kill those as well. Ooh, Jewel Saber. Cool, we'll go grab that. Why not? Now, Jewel Saber is basically spinny blades around you. I like to get the one that gives you a second beam at perpendicular angles. Well, there you go. It's not going to get a chance to do much killing, though. Namely because we're just going to be running around and killing everything way too fast. And let's go grab some more altars, see if we can't find some more elites to farm some more upgrades on. As it is, though, fairly handy. As you'll notice, everything that's coming in range. This is the max level on this map, for the basic map, so it's terrifying. Oh, and sometimes these artifacts will come with bonuses already built in, so this is a rare artifact to start, which doubles its effectiveness. So instead of being a 2% attack and then move speed, it's actually 4. We'll grab that, actually. What are we up to on artifacts? We're up to 3 artifacts? Yeah, I think that's fine, actually. And we will finally max out that weapon. And what we'll do is we'll just run around and, well, grab as many altars as we can. You never stop hunting altars because that extra critical chance, that extra reach, that extra everything, it's all free, so you might as well grab it. Oh, how much look at that? Corrosive Array increases caustic damage by 4%. Ah, that feels wrong. You know what? No. We're not going to go with the... Whoa! And there's the boss. And the boss is dead. Like, max level boss for this area. And this is just basically with the swarm launcher. It just does such incredible damage. It just annihilates everything. That guy basically didn't get to do his full attack pattern. No point upgrading the force shield. You can decrease the amount of seconds it takes before it comes back to protect you, but waiting 18 seconds for it to come back up versus 20 is not really a huge boost. And all of these guys usually drop one of these little thingies that allow you to suck all the experience towards you. So they're great loot and experience pinatas. One other bonus about picking this particular mech is it comes with a shield. So see that shield down there? This thing starts with a shield, which is insane. That means it's basically just extra hit points. Combined with us gaining, I want to say 3% damage extra every time we complete a wave with full health, means every time we finish one of these waves and get to this screen, assuming we have full health, we're golden. Ooh, Evasion. Should we got to keep an eye out for something, but we'll grab that evasion while we're here, and we'll put a few points in. You know what? Let's just max it out. There you go. Yeah, looks super cool. And this will be our general gist for a while. Run around the place, grab stuff. We're on wave 11 already, so that's one boss down. Every 10 waves, you get a boss. Normally you get elite, I want to say at every 5 levels. So at 15, 5, 15, 25 maybe. I could be wrong about that though. Now, we could get a second gunner, another third weapon right now, but normally I like to wait until we get something that's not common. Usually a rare or epic would be preferred because upgrading weapons, you have very limited chances to upgrade a weapon. The only time you can upgrade your weapons is when you kill a boss. And you're only going to run into like 4 bosses before you get into the final, so it's usually a good idea to maybe hold that until you get better weapons. Unless you have a particular build that definitely requires a certain weapon. Alright, these shrines, I've never really found much of a use for them. An 8-second bonus to something is not terrible, it's just not incredibly useful. Oh, if you look on the map here, see these long lines at the end? That means you're at the edge of the map. There is an edge to the map, so you have to sort of stay inside it. But what I normally like to do is stay in the center and circle around. Just circle around the edges looking for stuff. Ooh, Halo. Reactive fragments. When a demon has taken both ion and caustic damage, further hits with ion or caustic weapons have a 5% chance to spawn fragments moving through demons. That's great and all, but most things die so quickly, this is actually kind of pointless. But we will take that Halo. Why not? Halo is awesome. See that little blue circle on the ground? It's basically like a laser beam of death from space. Anything that, it just basically incinerates anything that's caught inside it. So it goes to the nearest enemy, starts zapping it. Ooh, we got an extractive battery, cool. Basically starts zapping stuff, and then it moves on once that target is dead. It gives it very good single target damage, and it works very good against swarms as well, in that it will just target the nearest target, and everything around it also gets hit. Chain lightning. Iron weapons have a 5% chance to cause a chain lightning. No thanks. I like to go with the attack rate for Halo, because it gives a dual. Additional Halo targeting second closest enemy. So basically you get 2 Halos instead of 1, and they're both getting the attack bonus. And if we go under a mech here, we actually have the Hollow Sect. It's a unique sensors that basically Hollow Jewel spawns a 3rd Halo. This thing spawns a 3rd Halo instead of 2, so we're basically increasing its damage by 50% just by having this item equipped. So is that we have Rushling. This Swarm Seeker speed and range is doubled. What this means is our caustic weapon, yeah, the upgrade for that is called the Swarm Seeker. So we've doubled its range and doubled its projectile speed, so it can reach further and the projectiles travel faster, which is what makes it also even more terrifying. Anyway, basically these are the only 2 weapons I really care about a lot. And oh god, that boss just melted. Like there was an epic there. I don't know if you are an elite there. I don't know if you noticed. They basically just died so quickly. It was ridiculous. All right, let's keep going, and hopefully we can find a few better artifacts to upgrade ourselves with. Oh, 1 second. I would really like to get my hands on another artifact before we trigger these bosses. There's one boss down here we can easily trigger. That one, no, damn it. Turbo gears, no, thank you. You need 16. You need 2 more altars. Once we grab 2 more altars, we can activate that other pylon. I think we'll go get those 2 altars and come back in a bit, because I would like to hopefully get something else to upgrade in the meantime. Ooh! And there's a blood shrine that all we have to do is kill stuff to unlock it, and it'll give us access to another one. I think we're going to be back here quite shortly. Once we get ourselves a good artifact worth upgrading. Damn it, more weapons. And also we burned all our rerolls already. You know what, never mind. We'll be back. Now, right now in the bottom right, you'll notice these 3 names. Swarm, Halo, and Dual Saber. That's effectively our weapons, and the amount of damage they've done in the last, I want to say 20, 30 seconds. I'm not sure how long it actually covers, but basically it's your recent damage from them. You'll notice that currently our Swarm is doing the most damage. Though I think Halo's probably going to catch up on a bit. Yeah, the Halo's actually doing quite well, despite being quite low level. And it definitely catches up, but the Halo is not as quite as good a boss killer. Oh, here we go. It's a boss. Exit. Just get close enough for the caustic damage to soak in. And dead. Like I said, highest level 1, still shredded in no time at all. Anyway, for an upgrade on this, we'll go with, I think, Sector Ordnance. This increases your area damage by a percentage of your evasion. We'll get back to this more. Hopefully we can find what we're looking for here, but it might take a minute. Alright, let's first max out Halo, then increase the damage, and done. So now the Halo is at max level, and if you look down the bottom right, Swarm is still doing great, just for now. But let's give that a few minutes. Ooh, an epic weapon. I'm pretty sure this arc launcher is pretty trash, but I mean, we'll buy it anyway. At some point, we'll upgrade it. There is the way of, like, you can only go with one weapon, and there's some upgrades that go synergize with that, but I mean, what's the point in that? It's more fun to just get a lot of weapons and kill lots of things. Alright, and as you'll see, Halo has now taken over as the primary killer for everything now that it's been upgraded. The thing is, it shreds, like, it just flickers. You see it flicker over something for a split second, that thing evaporates, and then it just goes on. Use attack speed for every empty weapon slot. See this here? So if you only get, say, one weapon, you could definitely increase its speed by 2%, and plus, if you upgrade that, it'll go 4, 8, etc. 2, 4, 6, 8, something along those lines. So you could definitely get a lot of bonuses. I just prefer to have more guns. I think we're just going to save all our little points to spend. Oh, I forgot. Is there... Where is it? If we go back in here, maybe check the map. Yes, there's a few things over here I should probably go back and check out. That will get us a few bosses that we could farm. But right now, we've just been sort of running around. Oh my god, the Halo is now slaughtering everything. That's sort of the thing with the Halo. Once you get it, it's hard to go back. It sucks. Well, it doesn't suck against bosses. It's not as good against bosses as the caustic damage. Caustic damage just shreds bosses like you wouldn't believe. But they're not terrible. It's just you'd have to, like, stand there for a while and shoot them. You still do not have the artifact looking. You know what? We'll grab that one, but it's a bit too late to be switching playstyles at the moment. Thing is, the artifact I'm looking for... Oh, look, there's a boss. And, oh, look, the boss is dead. Sorry, an elite, not a boss. Now, let's increase evasion a bit. Would like to make sure that we don't die that easy. You know what? I've never really used this weapon, so might as well stick a few points into it. But right now, what we're trying to do is just actually get our hands on a specific artifact, which is a little bit problematic. You know what? We'll spend one of these. Here, you can actually spend life, and you can either buy 2 extra rerolls. Actually... I'm going to buy 2 extra rerolls. I'd normally never do that, but we're looking for a specific artifact. Having a few rerolls might be helpful in that effect. In fact, maybe we should keep an eye out for more of those. If we could buy a few more rerolls, we might be able to find exactly what we're looking for a little bit faster. Phase Shifter. Increases evasion by 30% of your move speed. Evasion means if something is about to hit you, you have a chance of evading it, of it missing you. Which is good. But it's not just that. We're currently at, say, 32%. The cap is 80. So it means you get to a point where 4 out of every 5 things that are going to hit you just don't hit you. So at 32.8% right now. And then we grab the phase shifter, and now we're up to 71.6%. Which is insanely good. That means only 30% of the 3 out of every 10 things that would have hit us just don't. Combine that with... Sector Ordnance. Increase area damage by 30% of evasion, which means area weapons like the ion the iron little blob pool that goes around killing stuff, increase its damage by 30% of your evasion. And your evasion, if it maxes out at 80, that's going to be a lot of damage. Let's see, is there anything else? No, in fact, that's perfect. Ooh. Anyway, unleashes a spread of caustic projectiles targeting foes. You know what? We'll take it. Why not? More stuff to actually shoot things with. Now what we want to do is get our hands on a boss. Or not a boss, an elite, so that we can start upgrading that evasion bonus. We want to get evasion up to 80%. Once it's up to 80%, it's almost impossible to die. I mean, theoretically you could if you stood in a pool of something. Oh, look. This could be this is a soul stone. We can get a boss out of this. We are not going to spend any of these points right now. We are going to keep them all, and we don't want to buy any more artifacts. The thing is, you can only upgrade 1 of 5 artifacts, so it picks 5 artifacts you have in your inventory, and that's what it gives you offers you to upgrade them. So if you have too many artifacts, you can't specify what you want to upgrade because it might not show up on the list. So, for example, there's the phase shifter, actually 6. So it's those 6 artifacts. We have 2, 4, 6. We have 7, but erosion has already been maxed out, so erosion won't show up. Perfect. Then we do not want to get our hands on another artifact that can go in here until we've maxed out at least phase shifter. Done. That's up to legendary. 1 more upgrade on that, and we'll be sorted. Actually, that'll be maxed out. Or wait, do we even need it? Our evasion's already 80%. Never mind, we don't need it. Our evasion's already at 80%. In that case, let's just... Ooh, let's keep an eye out for that artifact that increases your damage for every artifact you have. This one here, Collector. This one's insane. So in that case, let's just grab lots of artifacts. And if we grab lots of artifacts, each one of them gives us a bonus. And oh, there's the boss. Hey boss, how you doing? And now you are hit with pretty much every single poison debuff possible, and you're dead. Yep, that's just pretty much how it goes. Alright, what do we want to upgrade? You know, I've never upgraded the arc thing, but I think I prefer the dual saber. It just looks cooler. Phase shifter is already legendary, and our mech has already maxed out evasion, so you know what? Sector ordnance, increase area damage. I want to kind of max that out. Ooh. Probably should have actually done the artifact one, though. That would probably have been better. Oh, that's a lot of experience. Oh, just give us all of the experience. And while that's going on, let's have a quick check on the map here. Yeah, there's a bunch of elites up here we can use to upgrade our equipment. Let's head up that way real quick. Because soon we're going to be full of artifacts. Because we're trying to actually get more artifacts now, it'd be better if we got our upgrades going on. Projectiles have an 8% higher chance to deal critical hit, but deal none knockback. Why not? Increase projectile damage by 2% for every area weapon. And you know what? No, we'll hold out a little bit longer. What we're going to do is maybe get a few more points on that artifact. The artifact that allows us to get more damage for every artifact we have. If we could maybe get a few bosses in on that one, it would be really nice. Come on, give us a few boss upgrades on it. Yeah, you guys can pick up. Also, anything that tries to hit us has an 80% chance to miss. Oh, there's the boss. Ooh, corrosive damage. You know what? I'll get it anyway now. Why not? And the boss is still... Elite is dead. Now, where was it? Oh! And here's the problem. Because we have so many artifacts now, we can't consistently pick out the ones we want to get boosted. Come on, let's just increase caustic damage. Why not? And let's go over here immediately, and I believe there is... Yep. These two over here. And we're just going to grab another bot. Like, we're not even too worried about summoning multiple elites at the same time. Ooh, sector... Nope. Collector, that's the one. Increase damage by 1% or 1.2% for every artifact equipped. If we get another level into that, I'd be quite happy. And there's another elite, Insta-Gibbed. God, Collector, yes. Get that up to 1.4% for every artifact equipped. So now every time we buy any artifact, it gives us a 1.2% increase in our damage. Thorns. Yeah, don't care. Demon damage demons that touch you. Sure thing. Iron weapons have a 0.5% chance to cause chain lightning. Why not? Let's go. Oh, there's another upgrade. Also, you can see on the map down here, like, little things around. Like, the green thing is health. Oh, that's another thing that allows us to soak up all the junk around the place. Generally, though... Damn it! That blue thing over there, that's an item. So we'll grab that while we're here, too. Firepower. Increases attack speed for every empty weapon slot. We will not have any empty weapon slots at the end of this, I'd say, but we'll grab it anyway. Yeah, experience core bonus, whatever. We're basically spending all of our points on getting nothing but masses of artifact upgrades. As many artifacts as we possibly can. What's our damage currently looking like? 152%. That's actually mostly from getting an extra 3% every time we successfully complete a wave. In fact, I can show that to you right now. Once we hit the next level here, we're on 2 seconds left. We're doing 154.2% extra damage. 154. We've now leveled. That's gone up to 157. So we gain 3 percentage points of damage every time we pass a wave, which is kind of crazy. All right, you increase attack speed by 4%. Sure. Increase leech chance and leech power by plus 0.8 while below 25% health. We're never going to get that low, but we'll take it anyway, just for the damage bonus. Oh, look, it's another mini-boss. And they're dead. Sorry, elites. I keep calling them mini-bosses. Collector Legendary. Sure thing. And I think that's that maxed out. We're actually very lucky that that showed up a bunch of times. Oh my god, there's so much stuff dropping on the ground everywhere. Oh, well, thank you all for your sacrifice. And by that I mean your deaths. And on the map, damn it, I've walked right into a corner. That's sloppy. That means we have to either go this direction or, you know what? Let's head over this direction. This is the closest stuff we've got. What a waste of resources. That's why I kind of like go into the middle and circle around. Should we grab the blaster? You know what? There's no point. We're probably never even going to get a chance to max these out. Well, actually, you know what? We'll leave that like that. I've never actually used this weapon, and oh my god. That's what that does. That's a light show and a half. The Halo is still kicking more ass, though. So I will give it to it. It's actually competing a little bit with the Halo. Like, it's beating out the Swarm in a lot of respects. I suppose it is covering the map, which is kind of cheating in a way. Clutch. Deal more damage at the end of a wave. Reactor fragments. When a demon takes both ion and caustic damage, further hits with ion or caustic have a 4% chance to spawn fragments moving through demons. Cool. Hopefully we'll get a rainbow of colors. Whee! Oh, and I'm going to need to grab that. We have a lot of experience trailing behind us that we'd like to vacuum up. I'm not even sure exactly what this thing does. I think it just makes your area weapons have a larger size, but I'll grab it anyway. This one I never get because it gets rid of leech. We would like to have some lifesteal on us. It's not completely essential, but having maximum health at the... Oh, and I just realized something. We can just hit reroll. We bought a few of those. Yeah, we'll grab that. Hunter's Mark. Critical mark. Hit marks demons. Basically, if you hit something for critical damage, it gets marked, and any further hits have... it'll do even more critical damage. Yeah, we'll take that. Forgot we had this weapon and we hadn't maxed it out. You know what, who cares? Oh my god, it's all weapons. Nope. Next. Increase area weapon damage by 4%. Increase attack speed after a critical hit. Sure. And chance to damage a random demon when it... Sure thing. What's our damage looking like now? 207% on our damage because of all this stupid amount of artifacts we've got. You know what? That's enough of that. Let's just keep going. It should at least make the screen nice and colourful. I don't think I've... I can't even see anything anymore. That's a little bit ridiculous. But good, you can see the occasional chain lightning going through the enemies. That's one of the artifacts we got. We haven't seen any weird portals or tornadoes yet, so I don't think we've got those ones. We might need to get some different damage types to trigger a few of the potential spawns. Increase move speed, why not? I don't even think we're going to bother upgrading any other weapons. The sheer quantity of damage means we're just killing everything before it even gets close. Now, one thing about these little shrines, they cost you health. So what I like to do is wait until after a wave goes through so that we can, increase critical chance by 20% of your evasion. This one is one of those ones you kind of want to hope to get earlier. Effectively, it takes your evasion and you can use that to increase your critical. So right now our critical is 17.1%. And the moment we add that, our critical chance goes up to 33%. And once you upgrade that a bit more, it gets really evil. Multiplies regeneration by 2, but your max health is halved. No, thank you. We are good. And for you, you know what? You're making the screen shiny, so we'll just increase your attack speed. All right, let's keep going. And then what we'll do is we'll pop over here. Oh, is that the boss? Oh, oops, the boss appeared. You know what? We will grab the spawn elite. Yeah, we'll spawn the elite right now, so we'll get the little mini boss so we can kill him too. Hi there. Yeah, that's the mini boss. That gives us an upgrade. You know what? I'll take the booster for this. Increases attack speed and move speed. That's always fun. Yeah, buddy, you're dead long before we're going to have a problem. Alright, you're legendary. We're going to max you out at Ultra. And then... Sector Ordnance. Increases area damage by 50% of evasion is possible. Yeah, it kind of just feels the most thematically appropriate. And, done. And if we check out our health is now maxed out again, so even before the next wave hits and we get an upgrade, we should be fine. It's just, by having a little bit of leech and a little bit of regen and all that stuff, you're basically able to regenerate your health in between waves, even if you do pay for one of those little shrines. That was the only thing that annoyed me, was occasionally when you pay for those shrines, you wouldn't get your 3% damage bonus at the end of every wave. Increase critical chance, sure. Increase armor, sure. And yeah, we'll spend 2 points on you. I don't want to max you out though, because I kind of like to keep a few points around just so that we can buy more junk. We're on wave 41, which means... Yeah, we've only got about 9 more waves and that'll be the end. Ooh, give me that. That's a experience boost. Actually, no, sorry, that was an engine. Never mind. Yeah, it's hard to figure out half the stuff that drops. Though sometimes the items make a ping noise when they drop, which usually I hear. Ooh, when a demon is taking both iron and caustic damage, further hits with iron and caustic weapons have a 4% chance to spawn fragments moving through demons. Okay. And increased health? Sure. That iron gun is just so weird. I think what's happening is you can see the big blue blobs. They're the things that are shooting out the trails of smaller fragments. That's its whole purpose, is to shoot out fragments everywhere. I mean, it looks cool, and I suppose if you combine that with some sort of triggering thing, like something like every time it hits someone it triggers lightning, which I think we have, I would probably make it more useful. Increase leech by +2? Sure. Do we want to spend points? You know what? We'll max you out so you stop showing up on the tree. Also, we're probably going to want to spend the last of our points in a reasonable time frame. Thing is, once you hit wave 49, that's your last time to actually spend stuff. Or, well, the boss is going to appear. Then you don't get to do anything after that, and there seems to be no way to continue on. This game has no infinite mode, which I find kind of annoying. And you notice it hasn't been very hard. We have literally been just sort of sauntering through things here. Increase projectile damage by 20% of armor. Sure, why not? We're starting to get close to endgame, and I might have to start spending those points a lot more. And I think the enemies actually get tougher around here, but it's kind of hard to tell with all of the explosions. And you notice that Halo is still effectively just crippling everything. The damage it does is just too ridiculous. Hey, increased damage by 4%. Why not? No, we don't want another weapon. I don't think it's worth the time or effort. And plus, when it comes to artifacts, yeah, we got lots of them. And our damage bonus is 256%. Because of all of the stupid things stacked on top of each other. Alright. Oh, was it a mini-boss? Yes, that was an elite. Increased damage dealt from 4 to 8, plus 4 to plus 8. So it's an extra 4% damage increase. Put that in perspective. Every wave we gain plus 3% damage, assuming we still have full health. And we normally do because we've got this little shield of 18 here. And that shield of 18 means, well, unless something breaks through that. And we also have an evasion of 80%. Meaning, you gotta hit us enough, not just to take down our shields, but you gotta hit us enough to account for all the times you've missed us because of the evasion. Seriously? Like, just nothing with the weapons. Thank you. Closer range. Projectiles deal damage to closer enemies. Sure. Fine, we'll spend some points. This one is the one I prefer for this one, the scatter. That costs 4 points. I'll have to wait. It's not a bad crowd control weapon when you max it out, actually, that weird one. It sends out, you see those 4 weird projectiles of green projectiles that shoot out of us occasionally? That's what that weapon is. Not the seeking ones, though. It doesn't make a difference. You can't see anything. This game is basically just a blinding string of color when you play it this way. Horizon extender, extend range. Sure. Run around 47. Ooh, gotta remember that. I've had it happen before where I finished the game and it's spending anything, though in all fairness, it doesn't really matter. At this point, I don't think it's possible for us to win unless we just, even if we took our hands off the keyboard, it might be impossible. Ooh, item. Of absolutely no use. Inventory is full. Ooh. No, what? I almost want to buy a weapon, but you know what, it's too late. We'll take you. And I think that's it. We'll buy one more thing. And when it comes to items, it turns out we are full. So we'll drop some items on the ground. You never know, we kind of want to hope we get a better item somewhere along the way. Yeah, we're on level 48, so we've got 2 more chances to upgrade. We need to spend all of our points. There's no point buying a new weapon, we'll never get a chance to level it up to max. And a weapon that's not leveled up is trash. Deal more damage, but you lose health if you stop moving. This one's hilarious. If you stop moving, you start taking damage. But your evasion counts. Multiplies regeneration by 2, but halves your max health. I'm not really comfortable with that, but I suppose we never really take enough damage for it to matter. I'll give it a go. Might as well. Yeah, so there's one more upgrade left in us. Oh god. Let's pay. Yeah, let's spawn an elite. Why not? And the elite is dead. Honestly, our choices here are pretty weak, but an increasing critical chance from 4 to 6%. Currently, our critical chance is 40%. This will increase it by 2%, or like a tiny fraction, but it is what it is. Currently, because of our regen, all of our health has come back. Ooh, give us that. Now it's about to be time for us to spend the last amount of resources we got. Alright, we got 4 points to spend. Ugh. I don't know how much we can spend it on. Increased damage based on missing health. Well, that's never going to happen, but we'll buy it for the attack bonus, or for the damage bonus. Attack speed? Sure, why not? And give us another upgrade. And we're finished. And that is everything upgraded. Basically, we didn't even get one weapon. We've maxed out all but one of the weapons? Yep. Artifacts-wise, we got loads of stuff. Just a bajillion tons. But the only ones that really matter are the phase shifter, caustic weapons, a few of them. You know what? Ooh, and this one, the 1.8% for every artifact equipped. That is kind of mental. And if we check under here, our damage is now 300%. Our attack speed is 75% bonus. Our evasion is 80%. Our critical chance is 42%. What's our luck? Our drop rates and better rarity chances. This is the only time you can actually see what these do, is when you're in here. When you're out of the game and actually on the rest of the map, you can't see this stuff. So when you're going around in your home base for upgrades, you can't see what increasing luck will do. Which also comes down to, was it leech power? Increases your leech power. What does that do? Who knows? But if you come under leech chance, it tells you here for every hit you have a 15.2% chance to heal yourself for 0.13 HP. Only way to know that is to actually check on it in here while you're playing the game. Yeah. Anyway, where's the boss? Oh, there they are. Hey, boss. Hey, boo-boo. Whatever. And now you're going to die in a second. Have they actually hit us? Actually, you can see that our health went down from... Or not our health, our shield went down from 13 or 18 to 13. So they did actually damage us, but the Halo basically won. The Halo did the most damage of anything here. You can see it down here. Swarm came second, then Arc, Dual Saber, and then the Kun, I think, well, we never really upgraded that. That one did bugger all damage, which was to be expected. Dual Saber actually does bugger all damage as well, because just nothing gets close enough to survive. It just dies instantly. Also, see these things here? You gain these once. That is it. So, oh, and this is like a full list of all of your stats at the end of it, so people can like screenshot this and share it on Steam or something if they want, though. Yeah, I'm not sure. So the problem with this is the game's too easy. And just to point out, coming back here, if we go up to this section, you can see all of these have been obtained. All of those rewards, you cannot score them again. So if we go in and do this map again, we will not get another unique token. So, and we won't get any more unique essence. Also, all of these awards here, you're going to get them once, which kind of puts you in a weird position because you can only get so many unique weapons or unique upgrades in here. And you've got to scrap other uniques to upgrade existing ones, which makes it really difficult. Let's check here. What are you at? You're a level 9 unique token. Great. That means it'll make it a level 9 unique item. Not great. Oh, 1 second. Time for the recycling days. Get rid of all the commons, please. They can all go. Get rid of all the rares. The thing is, you don't actually ever use any of these. Oh, and we've actually managed to find an Ultra Relic, which we can scrap for 36. Yeah, not really worth it. All gone. And for storage, I just stuck the green ones in there. I should scrap that blessed reactor. Nope, doesn't matter. Initially, I had planned on showing off the final threat level on the end guy, but no, we're like miles over time already. But I'll just explain the basic concept for doing the end game stuff. And that is to use this thing, the Halo. The thing that's that blue beam that can split up into 3 blue beams once you've maxed out that. That is great because the final guy has a bunch of his little minions that are invincible until they get within about a quarter of the screen of you, which can really soak up a lot of your external firepower, which means if you're using the swarm launcher, all of its attacks get soaked up and you end up getting... it's awkward. It makes it really difficult. Plus, all of those guys are shooting at you from a distance. Then you combine that with your primary artifact that you want to go for would be the phase shifter. Increases your evasion by 10% of move speed. This, combined with the... where is it? This artifact over here, Reflex Driver, increases critical chance by 10% of evasion. This will give you critical chance in 50 to 60% mark. And then the Sector Ordnance increases area damage by 10% of evasion, which combined with Phase Shifter means you end up doing about 60% more area damage. And the Halo is an area weapon, so this basically gives you a massive damage boost. At the same time, don't be wrong, we'll still get Erosion and we'll still get the Swarm Launcher if we can. Basically, this one is your... The Halo is for crowd control and the Swarm Launcher is for killing bosses. And then everything else you just kind of mess around with. And if possible, then you'll probably get the Collector and get butt tons of artifacts near the end just to boost your damage even more. And to sort of boost all of that along, you get the Orb of Cause, which gives you a 3% damage bonus for every level. Like every time you pass a level without taking damage. And you're not going to take damage, well... because you've got that shield, and that shield makes it really hard for them to hit you, plus you have good regeneration and leech. It's just, it's all around good. This here is the Orb of Impetus. Basically, every one of those shrines, I think they give you that little 8 per seconds of damage boost or whatever. Every time you access one of those and use it, you get a movement bonus of 1.5%. Increased move speed translates to increased evasion. So that sort of bundles nicely together. Then you get 2 extra rerolls after you kill each boss. So every boss gives you a couple of rerolls to play around with. New weapons have more chance to be epic. Activated magnets increase its experience gain by 5 seconds and give you 24% more experience for each piece of experience you absorb during that time. Really good way to power level. Orb of Triumph. You have a double chance that the artifact you select for upgrading is double upgraded. That's a 20% chance. So once out of every 5 times you upgrade an artifact, double upgrade. Then we got Orb of Salvage. What is this? Reduce offering cost. It doesn't cost you as much health to use those shrines that you have to pay health into. That way it's easier to generate the boss. It doesn't cost you as much health, so you're more likely to regenerate it, which means that you get your damage bonus at the end of the wave. And then finally, there's more altars. Just put some more altars on the map, which is more stuff to go around and get bonuses from. Then there's a whole bunch of little ones. They don't really count. The main core of it is just getting lots of evasion 80% evasion means it's almost impossible for you to be hit. That way you always make sure you get your damage bonus at the end of every round, which is an extra 150%. The 150% you get from this, it dwarfs every other damage bonus you can get. And the evasion, making sure that you're almost untouchable, makes you pretty much immortal. Game's fine, it's just far, far, far too easy. And there's just, like, I haven't even done any of the levels for this. The only reason I did some of these, I like to get stuff, like the reflex driver was under here, so we did that level. This guy here, I think the only reason we did this level was to get the phase shifter. That was it. Everything else, don't need it. Anyway, Demon Hunter. Mildly entertaining, but a little bit too easy. Need some sort of infinite mode, cranked up difficulty, or enemies that are on steroids. Not just making them invincible, but I mean, it was like a 5 or something. And it soaked up some of my brain so I didn't have to think about stressful things. Perfect. Anyway, I'm going to cut this out here. I got some Factorio I got to go back to. I hope you enjoyed it. Good luck.